Seeing that the final season of My Hero Academia is right around the corner, with it being scheduled for October of this year, I thought there'd be no better time to make this video pointing out this mistake than now. Because I'm sure this is something that slipped under a lot of people's radars, and to be entirely honest with you, I don't even blame people for not catching what I'm about to point out. Now, before I can say anything more, I have to issue out a massive spoiler warning for all of those who are anime onlys and who have not read the manga, as later on in the video, there will be manga spoilers, but the mistake and the point that I'm about to make is gonna make it pretty easy to try and guess what the mistake is. So if you think you're oblivious enough to not put two and two together, then continue watching this video. But if you're gonna be able to put it together easily, then please don't watch this video. I don't want to spoil the experience for you. It's genuinely super unfortunate that I can't get this mistake out to the anime only, specifically because this is something mainly for them. But even then, I'm sure there are a ton of manga readers who either A, entirely forgot this mistake and would go on to misquote it as time went on, or B, there are people who know the ending of My Hero Academia but also don't know about this mistake. So enough rambling on about something that you're not even aware of yet. Let's just jump right on into the video. The spoilers start now. Ever since the beginning of My Hero Academia, the fans were given a goal to not only follow, but to also look forward to seeing come true. Deku's promise to all the fans at the end of the second episode, where he went and said, by the way, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero, or as the dub says, the world's greatest hero. A statement that has a lot, and I mean a lot, of weight behind it. Taking into consideration that All Might was only #1 in Japan, that means that at the point of Deku making this statement to us, the fans, we're supposed to believe that Deku, this little scrawny quirkless kid, would go on to not only surpass All Might, but go on to surpass every other single hero in the world to then become the world's greatest hero. Now look, in reality, this statement doesn't have to be that big or surprising as I'm making it out to be. Horikoshi's the mangaka. If this is the direction that he wants to take Deku in, then that's how Deku will end up by the end of the story. Except for the fact that this is not the direction that Horikoshi wanted to take Deku in, or to better phrase it, this is not the direction that Horikoshi took Deku in. Now, I'm sure at this point there are a lot of you saying and thinking to yourself, this guy has no clue what the hell he's talking about. But contrary to popular belief, I know exactly what I'm talking about. So let me break it down for you. I'm gonna be restating what I literally just said 5 seconds ago, just so that we're all on the same playing field and we understand what the point is. In the sub version of My Hero Academia, Deku states that this is the story of how he became the greatest hero. And in the dub, they change it up a little bit and say the world's greatest hero. Now, in this situation, we can just take both of these statements to mean the exact same thing. With the vagueness of the statement, the greatest hero, in a literal sense, this would have to equivalent to the world's greatest hero. There is no separation between those two. Now, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself that I don't know how to read in between the lines and that Deku obviously didn't mean the whole world and that's just a bad translation on the dub, blah, 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 you're wrong, because your source of information is wrong. It lied to you, because never once in the manga did Deku ever state that he wanted to become the greatest or the world's greatest hero. All he said in that moment was, this is the story of how I became a great hero. Deku wanting to become a great hero has so many other implications that greatest or world's greatest hero does not. For all we know, Deku could have just wanted to be a great hero like All Might, or be a great hero in the sense that he would go down in the history books as one of the greats, which he did. Meanwhile, the greatest implies that he wants to be the best of the best, the one who sits atop the hill as king, the one who is untouchable on a global scale. And I believe it's due to this simple but massive mistake from both the sub and the dub team that a lot of anime onlys are going to be sorely disappointed when they get to the end of My Hero Academia and not see Deku as the world's greatest hero, but instead see him as a quirkless teacher at UA. Now look, I know at the very end that Horikoshi gave Deku a way to still do hero work, with him having All Might call up everyone he knows so that they can make a suit for Deku that can replicate and do everything he could during the final battle. But even then, that doesn't fix the issue at hand. Mirio is still sitting in first place as the greatest hero in Japan. Bakugo's sitting at 15th, and somehow the guy that can turn people into meatballs is sitting within the top 50 greatest heroes in Japan. Look, it's a random point, but still, you get what I'm trying to say. Deku isn't on that list, nor is he even above it as one of the greats. And genuinely, I'm so worried at how the fans are going to react or overall take in this ending that doesn't line up with what the anime promised us 9 years ago to this day. Look it up. Also, real quickly, I just would like to clarify that this isn't my frustration or anger in which I'm making this video for. I'm actually real satisfied with how the anime ended and where Deku's character overall wrapped up. This is purely just my concern on a matter that I've known about for a good while now. I started reading the manga somewhere in the middle of season 6, and eventually when I got caught up, I went back and read the beginning a little bit just to see how different things were, and then bam, right there, end of first chapter, great hero, not greatest hero. And I real quickly learned, oh my god, they just shot themselves in the foot so hard. And I know for a fact that there are a lot of people like me who started as an anime only and then eventually started reading the manga, only for them to never go back to the first chapter, because to be honest, why would they? They already know everything that happened up to this point in which they started reading. Now, this anime can end in one of two ways. They can either A, follow the story and stay true to it and give us the canon ending with Deku ending up as a quirkless teacher at UA, or they can write their own ending that aligns up with the promise that they made to all of us 9 years ago. And to be entirely honest with you guys, I can fully see them going down the B route and just making up this fake ending that is filler. Do you guys remember how they decided to wrap up Soul Eater's anime adaptation and gave us that horrible ending that entirely contradicted everything Maka and Soul had worked for the entire anime? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to do that again, even though there was a clear and obvious direction to take with the Soul Eater anime. But whatever, I'm not gonna get hung up about a matter that doesn't even matter to me. I read the manga, I didn't even watch the Soul Eater anime. But look, that's not the point. You get what I'm trying to say. They can totally just give My Hero Academia its own ending. Now, regardless of whichever route they decide to go with, it's gonna end up disappointing a lot of fans of My Hero Academia. And God knows that they are some of the worst people in existence. I know all the Baku Deku fans are gonna get Thanos when they see that Baku Deku isn't a real thing. What a shocker. Go away. I don't want you people in my video. But for the small sliver of not batshit crazy fans of My Hero Academia that get rightfully disappointed by the ending and how it didn't align with what they were promised 9 years ago, I hope they were able to stumble across this video and learn about My Hero Academia's biggest mistake. But on that note, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have enjoyed, please be sure to go ahead and drop a like down below. Subscribe if you guys are new, and comment down below what you think of this mistake, or if you even noticed it and how you think they're gonna end the anime. I'm honestly really curious to hear what you all have to say. But with that being said, my name is Iggy Media, and I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. Take it easy. Also, the April Fool's video was fake. It came out on April Fool's. Get real.